So is what I'm about to show you a good idea? Do I recommend it? Look, and then I'll comment after the pictures. I'm going to look at his three pictures. You see here, it's a pretty hefty lanyard. And you can see as it goes around the hinge that the tie cord is kind of big. Another look, you can see as he closes it, it doesn't allow the screen to close all the way. That's because of how big the material is. Then here's a third look. So I went through and did the same pictures, although his first one, he had the full edge. I'll show you that in the summary. But you can see the material here, the tie cord, is considerably thinner. Now this came from a tie cord, lanyard, whatever you want to call it, off of a U-Green thumb drive, micro SD adapter thumb drive that I have. Here's another look. Well, what I noticed here is I need to do a little bit of cleanup because I take that OtterBox on and off and I tape it on. It leaves a little residue, and that residue is sticky, and it looks like it's picked up a little bit of fuzz there. But anyway, and then let's look at the third look. Now, this tie cord is very strong. Small, but very strong. I would trust it to hold the duo above my head and fling it around and round and round and not break until the edges of the hinge cut through the cord. So look at my summary to see what I thought. Is this a good idea? I do want to show you that my solution does close all the way down here at the end. Let's see if I can get this thing to come across. He did have one of those postures, and I didn't take the full picture of that. This came with this, a little memory stick. It did make me get to thinking if this were a little longer, I could hang it and then pop it in and out whenever I needed it, when I needed it. I'm not saying I'd do that either, but is this a good idea? Now, I don't know the entire purpose. Was it just to latch it around the wrist so that if it should slip, it doesn't hit the ground? Or do you literally hang it from somewhere and then lift it up and then leave it hanging, dangling? If it's the first, which is you have it maybe around the wrist, and then if it slips and falls, well, that's not really going to be a bad idea at all. This is not going to hurt anything here. And the only times you'd be putting this stress on would be when that situation occurred. And I think you're better off with that than it, boom, hitting the ground. So for that purpose, not a bad idea. Is it good to leave it hanging like this for its life? That's the question. And I've thought about it. How much stress would that put on the hinges? But the way this is designed, part of the frame here goes out over the hinge, so if you're pulling up on it, you're going to pull into the frame, which is going to tend to give this some support. This is not going to flex like so much because it can't, because of the frame here. But it would need to be tested to see. And how much weight that is, and I don't know. I don't know if that would damage the hinge or not. Your first thought would be, well, the hinge isn't designed for that, and thus it's going to damage it. But looking it over and understanding some physics here, and then some mechanical, what's going to happen mechanically on a Duo 2 and Duo 1, in addition to the material of the frame, you've got this. So the hinge is not only going to have to bend the frame, it'd have to bend this as well. It'd have to bend against that. So those two pieces should keep it in place so that forces would not allow it to do this. I don't know what it would be like hanging a Duo from my neck. It'd be quite not a good experience, I think. If you had it on a stretchable, it could stretch so far that it could come up into a posture you could use it from your belt loop or something like that. And then you're primarily tucking it into a pocket, and the lanyard part really only applies should you drop it. I say go for it. I think in those scenarios it would be perfectly acceptable, and most likely acceptable even if you wanted to hang it from your neck. I think you're not going to enjoy that experience if you were to lanyard it from your neck, but hey, that's my thoughts on this particular point. Thanks for watching.